You are really revealing so much about your life in this new podcast. You talk about how you and your husband Jay have now reconciled after you filed for divorce from him in 2021 and after his arrest in 2022. Praise God. Why do you say that?
Well, because we're so in love, and we had problems that needed to be fixed and dealt with. I think one of the reasons it took 13 years or whatever to really and fully address the problems head on is because, maturing artist, and he has 4 kids and I have 3 kids, and we raised them all up from the time we got married when they were so young. My 2 daughters don't even remember our wedding. So just the chaos of life. They were all in sports. I was touring. He had a radio show, just busy, and it took us probably until the pandemic to realize, because everything stopped. And I think that's when we both started realizing our marriage needs some help, and so we did that. And we're now 2 years into being back together, madly in love. So I wanted to speak about it on the podcast. My conditions were, you have to be in therapy for the rest of your life, and we have to be in marriage counseling for the rest of our lives.
I want to go back to you and Jay reconciling, because it seemed like you were done. You filed for divorce.
I wasn't done. I was never done.
But a person that files for divorce is not done.
You make decisions when you're caught up in the moment, and I instantly regretted it, and never wanted to divorce Jay because he's my best friend, he's my person. We've just always had such great romance and passion. And so I just knew that this is not going to be the end, it's going to be a new beginning. And that's exactly what it is. And then the new album is a story. It's funny, we arranged all the songs to be like, we're madly in love, and now I'm mad at you, and now I'm in love with you.
It's like a journey of love, a breakdown, a breakthrough.
Right, a back together, yeah. Everybody, who's in a relationship understands the ebbs and flows and the hard times. Instead of looking for the one that you can live with, find the one you can't live without. And Jay's the one I can't live without. And he felt the same. It was just like the car needs a repair, basically. And so we repaired the car, and now it's driving perfectly again.
What do the kids think about the reconciliation? What do they think of the podcast?
Everybody is so happy because our family is back together. We're happy. There's like bliss again.
You are in this space where you're more open and vulnerable than ever. What do you credit for getting you to this new outlook on life?
The more mature you get and the more experience you get in life, you realize that it's very nuanced and it's not black and white. There's so much gray. And so I wrote a memoir and released it in 2020 and wrote quite a bit about my life and my childhood. And I've had 3 near-death experiences. Got hit by a car when I was 8, almost died in a plane crash. I fell in a well when I was 4 years old, almost drowned. So ever since I was in my mother's womb, I have had drama. I was a breech baby, and my mother was like in danger, sort of, when it came time to go into labor. And so it's just been constant throughout my life.
You've experienced a lot of pain, but you've channeled that pain into new music and sounding beautiful and as open and raw and vulnerable as ever.
I've never written, quite as much from a personal standpoint. Like there's
Was it scary?
Not as scary as like doing this. I think we're using abuse in the marriage. And I didn't want to admit that. And I don't think he saw it as that.
There had to have been a sense of relief, though, also telling your story in your terms.
It was a very, very difficult decision and really hard one to record. And then I think for, you know, like anticipating it being released and waiting for the backlash, I probably, you know, nearly had many fainting spells because I was just like, oh my God, I'm so dreading this. But, you know, but it's the news cycle and it's, you know, it's out, we did it.
In an upcoming podcast episode of yours, you talk about your stint on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
My marriage was dissolving. It started about 6 months before Dancing with the Stars.
And you reveal so many fascinating things that fans wouldn't have known that this was going on behind the scenes. But, you know, we see you competing. Your career is soaring. You've got these beautiful children. You are living life, girl. But what was really going on behind the scene?
You know, Dancing with the Stars, I was the only mom on the show. I had just had a baby. The girls are only 19 months apart, so I had 2 in diapers. Avery was 5, and I was going through separation, and it was unbelievably hard because I still had shows that I had committed to, so I would like finish recording Dancing with the Stars maybe like on Thursday night and then get on the bus or fly somewhere and do a show and then come back.
It was one of the hardest times of my life. I would be in the hair and makeup trailer. I would have my makeup almost done and I would start thinking about everything and just crying.
And sadly, you had to pull out of Dancing with the Stars because of the turmoil that you were going through personally.
Right, yeah.
I will never forget every second of this experience. I will go home telling myself, I am so glad I did that.
How far do you think you would have gone?
I think I would have won.
You do?
Yeah.
You would have taken home that mirror ball?
I think I would have won because we've talked about it, and you know, now that it's all over, we can say this, but my manager knew somebody that was on the inside tallying the votes, and he kept it very close. You know, didn't tell anybody because she could have gotten in trouble, but basically she said she's gonna win. I mean, she's getting all the votes, maybe twice the amount of votes that all the other people are getting.
And we were so excited. I mean, like, our girl, country music sensation, Sara Evans up there doing her thing on Dancing with the Stars.
And they helped a lot.
During that stretch of time in your life when you're competing on Dancing with the Stars, your first marriage was coming to an end. And there was a lot more going on to that than just that. But Faith Hill reached out to you.
Yeah.
What did she say to you during that time?
Well, my brother Jay flew out to LA because I said, I need you to come and help me leave my ex-husband. And so I said, you know, I had somebody get him like $5,000. And so I was getting so many texts from my ex's family, just really, really mean. It would upset me so much each time that my brother in love said, give me your phone. You are not looking at your phone anymore. And was protecting me from everybody that was calling and texting. But Faith Hill did call. And she said, I just want to, you know, check on Sara. And my brother is so funny. He kept talking about, like, I just talked to Faith Hill on the phone. And, you know, because Faith Hill is so stunning.
It was Faith Hill.
It was Faith Hill,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he just was hilarious and kept teasing his girlfriend and like, you know, I gotta go because, you know, Faith Hill might be calling back.
Oh my gosh, she was milking it for all it was worth.
Yeah.
But how precious that Faith,
yes,
you know, reached out, just being the great girlfriend.
Wasn't that sweet?
Was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
very,
wonderful
very
to have
kind.
women like that in your corner. And I cannot wait to hear more of your new music. Pride is the new song that you have out now.
Yes, and we need to talk about Audrey.
I know Audrey is making her acting debut in your video.
You take a whiskey, you take a wine, you take anything as long as it was mine.
And she is your mini to a T.
She is.
How proud are you?
I'm obsessed with my kids, and I will say, like, of all my achievements in life, of all of my awards, of all of my albums sold, all of the sold out concerts, anything that I've ever done in my career pales in comparison to the job that I feel that I did with the children. I wanted them to be people that were kind and honest and, you know, giving and forgiving and just cool. You know, I also raised them to be cool because they were on the road with me all the time and around adults. And,
Honey, they get it from their mama.
well, you're so sweet. I think they're way cooler than I am.
Unbroke is your upcoming album.
And Unbroke has a double meaning.
How so?
Well, I wrote the song, and the song is simply about divorce. I had my dad in my life till I was 12 years old, and then he was a wonderful man, but he wasn't a great divorce dad. And, you know, that's one of the things that I've always just adored and respected and admired so much about Jay, because he's an amazing father. And he, you know, never missed a minute with his children growing up. And it is miraculous. I mean, there's not probably an hour that goes by that I don't pray and thank God for this miracle.
You said in the podcast that Jay is a completely different person now.
Yeah.
How so?
When you think you're maybe going to lose something, then it becomes more valuable, more important. And I think everybody has awakenings in their life. And I think one of those was, I think I'm taking this for granted, and I don't want to do that.
In your recent podcast episode with Dennis Quaid, you said your last 2 to 3 albums have been some of the best work you've ever created, but they haven't been heard.
I feel like I'm singing better than I've ever sang. And what drives me crazy is when people say, "Are you still doing music?"
So how are you going to try with Unbroke to kind of push through this barrier that you feel like you've hit maybe with some of the previous albums?
Well, it's country radio. So if you're being played on mainstream country radio, like you're in Topeka, Kansas, and you get in your car and turn on the radio and you hear new Sara Evans music, that would be the cure-all. But you don't hear new Sara Evans music. You don't hear almost any new female music. It's very, you know, like
so
if you
how
look
do you
at
change that?
Well, you just have to depend on the fan base that I have, that I'm so grateful for. So they're always there for me. So it's like when I release a new album, you know, they've already pre-ordered it. They're there.
Is it more difficult for women, female country artists?
Oh my gosh.
So there is.
It's unbelievable. If you look at a chart of top 50, you would probably see 5 women in it. If you listen to the radio for an hour or two, you're gonna hear all men and then a couple of girls. And it's frustrating because what if they had done that always and we never had Dolly Parton, or we never had Patsy Cline's music or Reba McEntire's music?
Right.
I'm not like, you know, I hate men and I'm mad and I'm not a victim for it. I just don't understand it. There are so many great female artists that deserve to be heard on country radio. They just won't do it.
Well, I pray Unbroke is heard, received,
Thank you.
played loud and proud on country music radio. Now, switching gears completely, who are some other celebrities that we might see on your podcast?
I have so many people I want. Well, I want Reba McEntire.
Of course you do. We love us some Reba.
I texted her and asked her.
And?
She said yes.
Fantastic.
Who else do I want? Oh,
You
gosh.
should get Faith on there.
Faith Hill.
Yeah.
Would be great. We had Martina on already. That was a great one. I can't wait for that one to come out. But I would love to have Morgan Wallen come on and talk about his songwriting and his voice. I'm a huge fan of his music.
Nice.
Chris Stapleton,
That made
Keith
him
Urban.
sing.
Yes.
Love it.
I would make him sing with me if he came on.
make him.
I would make him.
Well, you are living your life
Yep.
according to your rules, your needs.
Thank you.
And I pray that you just continue to thrive, communicate, and you and your family are doing well.
Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you.
I mean
I'm
it, truly.
very, very grateful.
Good.
So grateful I could cry. I do cry every day.